Children
Oh,
should
man.
be seen.
Exactly.
Silence
Imagine
them.
silence them. So Emmanuel, I can't hang on a second. No, we haven't. Did you see Long Legs or not? Have you seen it or not?
No, I haven't
He
seen
ain't
it.
watching Long Legs. Come
Listen,
on now. He ain't watching
Manny,
Long
you
Legs.
gats to, man. You
He
gats to watch
ain't.
Long Legs.
My man wants to
Seriously.
sleep at night. He wants to sleep.
Listen, what you said about the D, I
Oh
was like,
man.
I don't know about that one.
Honestly, it's one of those movies, right, where you just gotta be like, all right, you gotta take something with you, man. Or after the movie, you gotta start thinking about something positive.
Yeah.
Think about
it's not so much the like the jump scares.
Nah.
It's when they go deep into the whole occult stuff.
Yeah.
This is.
Come on now.
There ain't in Long Legs. There ain't much jump scares. Anyway, all right. Listen, look. Okay, so folks, you just caught us mid flow. The three of us, we're back. Emmanuel is back on the scene. We had him a few weeks ago when Deval was in Italy. Deval, how was? I've already asked you this. How was Italy, man?
You can ask me again. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
All right, so we've got Emmanuel. Deval's in the hot seat back again, and we are going to be discussing. It feels like this movie we've been waiting years. Well, actually, we have been waiting years and years. 6 years.
Yeah. 6 years since part 2.
6 years in the making. So we're going to be speaking about Deadpool and Wolverine, the big major movie, Marvel movie. And so we're going to get into that one. So stick around for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. We're going to try and get it in within 45. But listen, take it away, Deval. What are we doing first?
Yeah, quick couple of shout outs. One goes to Ciel Noir 3. We always shout out Ciel Noir 3. Come on now, how can you nuts? Yeah. I know she's watching Deadpool 3 and we got to get her feedback on what she thought of it. We got to get her on the show as well. I think we said it a few times, but we will get her on the show at some point, hopefully during the summer before winter comes in. But yeah, Ciel Noir 3, go check out her page on Instagram. Like I always say, however you feel before it, you will feel better afterwards. Next shout out goes to our very own Zakharov. This is not even on the on the program, but got to give a big shout out to Zakharov. Not seen Zakharov in a while. We're gonna see him soon. And Zakharov, just a little shout out to you when you're ready to come back on the show. Give us a shout out. We would love to have you on the show. And hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing good. So yeah.
I can't remember if you asked Zakharov. Is Zakharov a Marvel man or he's not?
He is, but he's a bit like us. Where like he feels like Marvel's kind of like gone downhill a little bit. So he's just he's a bit he's a bit controlled now with his Marvel love. So yeah.
Yeah, like many people. All right, okay, those are your shout outs. Remember, if you're listening, remember to like, subscribe, and you know what? Write a comment, write a review, because that helps us a lot. That helps this podcast get heard even more. So if you can, write a review wherever you get your podcast from. We would love you for it. And if you want to be on the show, get in touch with us and we'll have you on the show. You could be doing what Emmanuel's doing right now. All right, let's get into movie news. Now, Deval, we already spoke. We've already spoken about this, actually. We spoke about this on last week's episode, A Violent Nature. You've actually reviewed this movie last week. So if you haven't heard this, folks, go back and listen to last week's episode. It's quite an interesting movie. Deval gets into it. And but listen, man, this isn't a movie news. Why?
Just a quick one. Yeah, I mean, our main movie today is definitely of a violent nature, but this one in a violent nature is a horror film by Shudder, a horror film where the audience are on the journey of the killer. So how you see Michael Myers and people like that, those axe killers, usually you follow the cast and their lives, but in this one you follow the killer literally behind them like a computer game, walking around killing people. But yeah, this came out recently. It's done really well. The sequel has been greenlit already.
Jeez.
So you just know this. I think the budget for this one was really low. Was it even 3 million? I don't think it was even that. It was really low budget. So this one's done well comparatively, to the budget. So yeah, the sequel is going to be happening real soon, I should think.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty good, man. Where it hasn't even been out for that long, has it?
Nah, literally a couple of weeks, I think. That's it.
Yeah. So they're already greenlighting that shit. All right. Okay. So if you haven't seen A Violet Nature, go check that out. And if you want to hear the review first, go listen to last week's episode. Now, listen. Just before we started recording, we were already speaking about long legs. So Deval, we've obviously reviewed it on last week's episode. Go listen to that one. Emmanuel, he hasn't seen it, but yeah, tell us about this, man.
Emmanuel, he does like long legs.
He does.
Yeah, he does. So.
I've got a pair of my own.
But people think he's like 5'1". This guy's tall. You know?
I know. So what's happening with this one, man? So we know that it's got good reviews. So that's obviously good acting, good directing.
Yeah.
But the all important, is it doing well at the box office?
It's doing mad well. I mean, this one's already given a 5x on initial investment. You know, I was like talking that investment money, investment lingo. But yeah this one, Longlegs, reportedly cost $10 million to make. This is it kind of feels like an A24 film, but it's not. It's a neon film, which is kind of a bit of a similar distributions of media film house to A24. But yeah, on a reported $10 million budget, it's already done $50 million already. It's been out for 13 days, something like that. Yeah, and it's done so crazy. Well. It's gone past a lot of the other horror films that were really good for their small budgets as well. Hereditary, it's gone past, it's even gone past Talk to Me, which was a really good film.
A decent horror film as well.
Exactly. And Neon also created Parasite, which was the previous all-time grossing film from that that film company.
The Korean one.
The Korean film.
Yeah, it won an Oscar.
It won an Oscar, exactly. So this film here, Longlegs is doing really, really well. I reckon it'll probably get 100 million. If you haven't seen it, go see it, unless you want to sleep at night.
And also, Devout, I mean, if the movie does really well, that usually means what thing? Sequel or prequel?
I think it shouldn't. This film, Emmanuel, you ain't seen it. I'm not going to say anything too mad. Longlegs is a deep. I'm going to see it probably one or two more times.
I need to watch it
again. It's good because it's hard to get good horror films recently because it's just too much. It's just whatever. But this one gets not just in your mind, but under your skin. And it stays with you. Even now, when a trailer comes on,
he's shaking his head. He's like, no,
Emmanuel, I've seen the film. Get this here. I've seen the film.
Yeah.
But even now, when the trailer comes on, I have to change the channel and look away. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
I've seen the film, but the trailer still does something to me. What's that saying?
Exactly? A couple of days later, there's his voice. The main. I'm not going to give anything away, but the thing, his voice. It just kind of devout. For some reason, the voice just came to me, and I was like, "Oh man!" I had to I shivered, man. I was like, "Oh,
mate." It's the eyes for me. The eyes behind the cloak. That for me.
Oh,
Wash my face off, yeah. And do it quick. Look at them out to make sure. Just do it quick.
Oh, shit.
Honestly, everyone's saying with the Home Alone, yeah. Because the thing is, in your mind, you're thinking, if I wash my face too long, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to open my eyes. It's going to be there.
It's just weird the way it just appears in the movie, man. You know what? It got to me when it was sitting in the car.
Oh man!
Don't. Okay, Emmanuel, we're not saying much. All right, that's it. Right, okay. So go check it out. If you haven't seen Longlegs and you want to shit your pants, go and watch it. All right, okay. Yeah. We're keeping movie news short and sweet on this week's episode because we want to get into other stuff. So let's get into new on streaming. And I can't remember, Devout, if we've actually ever done a breakdown of the Umbrella Academy. I've actually seen like all of it. I haven't seen the new one just yet. But it was one of those shows where I was like, what the hell is this? And I got into it afterwards. I didn't watch it. I didn't get on the hype train. But when I did start to watch it, I was like, you know what? I really like this show. There's time travel. It's weird. There's superheroes, superpowers. There's shit going on. Dysfunctional family. It's got all of it. So, Emmanuel, have you seen it?
Yeah. I've seen all three seasons.
Wicked.
So yeah, I can't wait for this one. This one's going to only be 6 episodes though, instead of the previous 8 episodes that they had. But yeah, this is what I've seen of the trailer. It looks like it's the tentacle boy. You know, the guy, one of the kids, of the kids that has the tentacles who died. He's basically coming back in this one. So yeah, for another save the world kind of situation.
Event. Yeah, exactly. And this is going to be it, man. This is it. This is the final season. There's going to be no more. Well, I never say never, basically, with these things. But I mean, they might have a spin-off. Who knows? But I think of those guys together, probably the final thing. I can't remember. Devour. Did you get into the Umbrella Academy, or you didn't?
I think I watched 1 or maybe 2 seasons. I didn't carry on with it.
Yeah.
This is the one with Mary J. Blige in it, yeah? And she's like she kind of tracks them down. Is that the one?
Yeah. Mary J. Blige was in it, in the first season or the second season. I can't remember. Okay. But yeah, man, you know what? It's got its moments and it picks up. The plot lines are deep and there's shit going on. But yeah, man, it's worth watching just because of the final thing. So, all right, so that's going to be out. Go get your fix on that one. Now, this one, I haven't heard much on this one, but this is Apple TV Plus. Interesting thing. I was reading this article just not too long ago, and someone who wrote the article was saying Apple Plus has got some great TV shows, but no one's watching Apple TV Plus apparently.
Oh, do you know what? You're so right. Because I've got to go there and I haven't seen Dark Matter. There's a film with Jake Gyllenhaal that's meant to be good. Do you know what? You're so right. And they give away 3 months free all the time.
I know. It's like, seriously. So what's this? What's this out on Apple TV?
This one is basically about a MIPD who changed his career, but then shit happens, and then he has to basically come back into doing some detective work. And the title, I was like, why is it called Bad Monkey? There's actually a monkey involved in it. So not to give that away, but it's
actually
starring Vince Vaughn. And and it looks like it could be a good show because it's by the executive producers of Ted Lasso. I think Deval's watched Ted Lasso, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen one season.
Yeah, I've watched Ted Lasso. It's like a feel good. So if it's kind of like in the same vein as that, it's like it's going to be funny. It's going to be comedy, basically, right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be like a bit of dark comedy, isn't it? So.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, Emmanuel. I mean, do you watch a lot of stuff on Apple TV?
I don't, I'm
I think we all got to get a 5 a day.
I know.
The Godzilla one was on Apple TV. I watched that one. There's another one, but I can't remember. They're here and there, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll got to get more of a 5 a day in there, man. Apple TV doesn't have some good shows, and
it does,
I think they do well with science and stuff, don't they? I think you watched the one with the underground, Emmanuel. Was it called?
The Silo. Again? Was it Silo?
Silo. I think you might have watched that one as well. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was good.
That was decent. That was all right. That was decent. And they've got other ones like Deval's mentioned, Mankind, or something. Dark Matter. There's I
wonder why though. Like not many people are watching it because loads of people have got Apple devices.
Yeah. People are stuck in their ways. You know how it is. People are used to Netflix, and then they got used to Amazon, and then there's other options. So there's less pieces of the apple pie for them to take a hold of.
No, man, it's true.
It is what it is. It's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I know there's decent shows on there, and I should be watching them, but bloody hell, man! For the life of me, I'm catching up with so much shit. All right, okay. So that is Bad Monkey. Check it out, Apple TV Plus. It's coming out in August, and it's starring Vince Vaughn. I can't remember the last thing I saw Vince Vaughn in, but yeah, he's kind of like comedy actor, and he's done a lot of dramatic stuff as well. All right, okay. Let's do trailers, and I am staying away from this, so maybe you guys can fill in some gaps. What's the trailer like? This is Joker, Folie à Deux. It's the kind of sequel. Some people are saying it's darker. It's, is it taking place in his head? Is he still in the psych ward? What's going on? We don't know. But yeah, man, what's the trailer like?
Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Just go through the trailers quickly. But yeah, this one it gives you a bit more on the characters. We see more Lady Gaga, we see more Joker, we see other characters, and just maybe what's going to happen. We see them in a TV studio. It's very, the budget looks bigger for sure. There seems to be more going on with sort of society. They seem to have society's eye on them, and they seem to have some sort of influence, or I don't know if I can use the word power, but they definitely are people, and people know them, and there's, they have a purpose of some sort. I just don't understand what is going on in it, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
because Joker is meant to be that character is just really question mark, isn't it? But
from the trailer, it looks like it's a bit crazy where these people aren't supposed to be getting a fan base, but they are slowly gathering momentum, and a bit like Trump's.
There you go. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. And even the word folie à deux means that when two people are in the same craziness or madness or something like that. Or, there's a meaning for it. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it's coming out was it October this year, I think. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to go out and watch it. We'll watch because we saw the first one and we thought it was great. So yeah, that'll be a good one. Now this next one, I don't know anything about this, so fill in the gaps again. This is Rob Pierce. Who's Rob Pierce?
I think it's Rob Peace.
Oh,
Rob
sorry,
Peace, okay.
Rob Peace. Okay, all right, typo. So Rob Peace. So tell us about this one.
Yeah, so it's based on a true story about a young man that puts his bright future at risk to help his father. From the trailer, it looks like basically father and son, are like, best buddies, and the father can't help himself but get himself into odd bits of trouble here and there. When the father, the son, it's one of those situations from the trailer where it looks as though like the son admires the father to the point where it's not unhealthy, but from everyone else's perspective, it's like, why are you following your father? Because your father isn't great, but
he's not a decent person.
To Rob, he's like amazing. So he's like, through thick and thin, the kid is smart. He's got a bright future ahead of him, but it's one of them classic stories where you get in with the wrong crowd or get into the wrong, follow the wrong direction, and you can basically lose your path of what you're supposed to be on. So it looks really interesting.
Okay.
Directed by your mate, teacher, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh my God. We knew Chewie was gonna get behind the
starring
camera.
And directing. Starring and directing, by the way.
Starring and directing.
Mary J. Blige in it as well.
Yeah, Mary J's in it.
Mary J. So
looking good.
Check the singers are getting in on it. All right, okay, so that's Rob Peace. Now the next one, we've mentioned a little bit about this, but this is Beetlejuice. This is going to be coming out really, really soon. And obviously, if you don't know what this is like a sequel to the 80s movie. I think it was 1989, I think, when the original 88 or 89 when the original came out. Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, aka Batman, Winona Ryder, the underworld, ghosts, all that sort of stuff, madcap. So yeah, man, this looks interesting as well. This looks good. I'm going to watch this.
It's funny that they titled it Beetlejuice rather than Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. And also, if you say it one more time, I think the third one will be 3 times, isn't it? Because when you say it, he comes, he shows up, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah. Like Candyman.
And it would be a decent third one. Beetlejuice. It just makes sense, right? Yeah. So if you haven't seen it yet, what do you guys make of it?
Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm definitely gonna see it. I'm not gonna expect too much from it.
No.
But it'd be one of those ones that they're bringing back from the 80s as usual. So I don't think it's gonna be better. Yeah, they're doing a lot of it. So see what happens.
Which, I haven't even seen most. You know what? It kind of makes me feel like there's a lack of creativity. Like, what's going on? When they're having to do that.
Exactly.
I mean, what's the other big movies from the 80s which you reckon is probably they're going to end up doing? I'm just trying to think of another franchise, like maybe
I'd like them to do Thundercats, but
Thundercats,
cartoon.
I don't see that happening anytime
soon. Look, Look, they've brought back Beverly Hills Cop. They're doing Beetlejuice.
What about Airwolf?
Airwolf, yeah, like something that they've already made and that they're going to kind of bring back and think, oh, let's do this.
Yeah, there's going to be a few. I can't think at the moment, but it's going to be a few of them that's on the list, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon they'll do something off key and it'll be like something like Thunderbirds, but
yeah, I know He-Man. I think wasn't it Masters of the Universe? Weren't they going to do something about He-Man?
Yeah.
That's ripe, for another one to come out. All right, okay. Next movie on the list of new trailers is Mickey 17, starring Batman. So tell us about this.
The trailer. Yeah, starring Robert Pattinson, the most recent Batman. Basically, I watched the trailer. Well, it's a teaser, and it's basically just Robert Pattinson in like, you see like one of those scanners that you put your whole body in through, and then it's like a donut.
Yeah,
it's like, it looks like that in the trailer, but
MRI kind of thing.
Yeah, like an MRI. But basically, the synopsis is that it's like disposable employees sent on a human expedition to colonize the ice worlds or another planet, and then he basically dies, and then another version of him is respawned, which makes me feel like when you say disposable employee, brings back PTSD when you get fired from a job and stuff like that. I get told to move on. So I mean, could you imagine if you sign your name and to be employed by a company on whatever, and then you go for a sales, it's like a sales job. You go there, and then whatever happens to you, you're not good enough or whatever, and then, or even the military. You just get respawned. You may want to just leave.
Oh man! I mean, nowadays, man, they're bringing everyone back these days. Like, flipping. I wouldn't put it apart. Exactly. Trust me, man.
Interesting. And this is directed by Boon Jong Ho, so director of Parasite, who we mentioned earlier. This has got an all-star cast. You got Toni Collette, you got Stephen Yeun, Mark Ruffalo's in this. So this is going to be a good film.
We're going to be decent.
Good film.
There's not much out about it. But,
Okay.
All right. Listen. So look, those are your trailers. Go check those out, and if you've seen them, go let us know what you think. And if you haven't seen them, what are the trailers that you're watching at the moment? Let us know so we can check them out as well. All right, let's do anniversary corner, and we've gone very, very specific on this anniversary corner because of the main movie that we're going to be speaking about. So it's very Marvel, Marvel centric movies, Marvel and Fox, I should say actually. So first up, from 10 years ago, 2014. This is X-Men Days of Future Past. So 10 years ago, man. Shit, I can't believe it's already been a decade, man. It's unbelievable.
Doesn't feel that crazy.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, how does this still hold up after 10 years?
I think it does a little bit. Yeah, not a little bit. It does actually quite well, especially there's scenes at the start and the end where they're fighting in the future. And remember, this is the film we saw together in the cinema.
Yeah,
and
man.
Then afterwards, the post-credit scene was Apocalypse, and that got me crazy. That was like, wow, Apocalypse is coming.
And then what was the one after that? So then, what came after this then?
Apocalypse 2 years later.
X-Men Apocalypse. You're right. Okay, exactly.
Yeah. So this soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good. That was a good film. It's literally the comic books title as well, Days of Future Past, where they're going in back and forth in the future and past and whatever. This again links well to what the film we're going to talk about later, Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, not just because of the characters, but also because of the time travel element as well. So it's good. It's still good. 10 years later.
And I think the reason why it was exciting for a lot of people, a lot of fans, it was bringing the old Professor Magneto to, with the new ones. And so there was this kind of like a whole little thing going on. And it was interesting. I like that whole thing going on over there. Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, it's probably homework for, Wolverine and Deadpool and everything. And then we've also got on this anniversary corner list, we got to bring this up because it fits in as well with, the main movie is X-Men Origins Wolverine 15 years ago, 2009. So whilst Fox were making all these big X-Men movies, they thought that they could then, right, hang on, let's capitalize on this. Let's do an origin story because Wolverine, Logan, he is obviously the most popular character on screen. Let's go back and do an origin story. It didn't hit all the right notes. It was, I don't think it did well at the box office. Maybe I'm mistaken. Deval, you might be able to correct me on that one. Or maybe it did, I don't know. But I mean...
not so much. Budget was 150 million. The worldwide, actually, it doubled it, actually. Worldwide was 373 million. So it doubled it. It did get its money back for sure.
Yeah.
I remember this was, I think this was a time when Ryan Reynolds also mentioned that if he could basically play the character that he played in Wolverine Origins, he would like to be that character. And then also, this was supposed to be they started off with Wolverine in hopes that they could basically do other origins for like Cyclops and
Gambit.
And some of the other characters.
Yeah. So what were the issues with this one then? Why did this one not work?
I think the critics, people, even though it made its money back, it just didn't really. It wasn't a really great film. Obviously, people went and sat down and watched it because it's Wolverine. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to get some money.
Yeah.
I think
so the question that
Deadpool as well.
Yes. That was the whole thing. They zipped his mouth up and everything like that. Yeah. So just one final question on this one. So Sabretooth is, I can't remember if it's in the comics. Are they brothers or not?
Yeah.
So they are brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because when you go back to watch the 2000 X-Men, there's none of that backstory, is there?
Exactly. There isn't. No.
There's none of that backstory.
It's a different Sabretooth as well. This one's Levi Schreiber. Another one's a different guy.
Exactly, which we'll speak about in a bit. Okay, and then finally, we want to add this on this. So this is 20 years ago. So even before kind of X-Men and all that sort of stuff. So in 2004, we had Blade Trinity. So this is Ryan Reynolds doing his thing with Blade, Wesley Snipes. And this is going to be important because this is going to be important. So if you haven't seen Blade, the Blade movies, 1 and 2 are classics.
I've seen the first one, man.
I know. Blade Trinity was just kind of, again, it's one of those kind of, it's the third movie in a franchise, which is usually the weakest, right? Type of a thing.
Yeah.
I still argue that the first Blade was the first one that actually spawned the rest of the Marvel movies.
No, people accept that now, That's the thing now. People, it's recognized. That is recognized.
Yeah.
So save Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. So he's now, and it's official. It's official. Like, Blade is in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt now. And that leads us. So going back to the Blade thing, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Wesley Snipes, he's badass.
Ryan
he's
Reynolds,
brilliant.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. In Blade Trinity, I'm surprised he showed up in this Deadpool Wolverine because I heard in Blade Trinity that he was a dick on set.
They didn't get on.
Times he would write post-it notes to people because he didn't want to chat to them. So I was surprised to see Ryan Reynolds actually called him up for this. But I guess
that was the joke. That was the joke in the movie. Did you hear the joke?
What happened in the movie? What did he say?
He goes, why are you here? He goes, you weren't even there on the other one.
Oh, okay.
All right, okay. So listen, we're gonna go check out those anniversary corner movies, and they lead perfectly into the main movie that we're going to be speaking about, which is Deadpool and Wolverine. And Deval's already mentioned this movie's been 6 years in the making. We got Deadpool in 20. When did we get Deadpool? The first one,
2016, and then second 2016. One 2018. Yeah,
the first R-rated movie, Fox movie that smashed records. It did over $1 billion, and clearly, what do you reckon, guys? A role that Ryan Reynolds was born to play, right? So he's had his kind of eye on this character since the X-Men, the origin movie, that type of a thing, and. He's clearly loves the character. He wants to do it. And then he came to the drawing board, put it all together. So you had Deadpool. A couple of years after that, 2018, yeah, Deadpool 2, and now 6 years later, Deadpool and Wolverine. And, you know, you and I, Deval, we spoke about this. We were like, listen, the hype is real. There's a lot riding on this. MCU over the last couple of years, they've kind of faltered a bit, and the movie is littered with jokes about Marvel MCU not being in a great place at the moment. So there's a lot riding on this movie. This is the main movie of Marvel movie of 2024. There's no more. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, it's true. So I think this is a good way to see out the year.
I mean, they're not bringing in any more Marvel movies out this year. So it's like we're giving you this. We've spent 6 years on the movie. There's been shit going on behind the scenes, the Fox merger and everything like that. So here we are now, Deadpool and Wolverine. And the big thing was, why or how were they going to bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine? Because in Logan, he said that was it for him. And I remember, Deval, you and I had this conversation. We were like, shit, why is he coming back? Is it going to be a good thing? He should have stayed dead. And, it's a bad thing that they're going to bring back, Wolverine and everything like that. But as we'll see, as we talk about the movie, that's not the case. So we definitely do get a Wolverine in this. So I'm going to leave the setup to Deval. Deval's going to set it up. And just before we continue, there's going to be spoilers in this.
Defo spoilers. So yeah, I'm not gonna go. I mean, the setup actually isn't that long.
No.
The setup is like you mentioned. Deadpool 2 happened. We saw time travel with Cable, Deadpool, that kind of stuff. And at the end of Deadpool 2, he would try to sort of reset things, and he even went to Deadpool X-Men Origins Wolverine and shot himself. He shot the script of, I think, Green Lantern or something. He was just going through time, messing shit up. So that had consequences. Now the Time Variance Authority, who we keep seeing, who keep trying to... It's like basically the MCU's way of cleaning the slate or rectifying their mistakes. So the TVA have now come to Deadpool to say, you're messing with time, man. You've messed shit up. So they got to, they need him to come and sort shit out, basically. So they come and get him while he's having his birthday party with all his friends and stuff, because he's now, since he's sort of fixed time in his eyes, he's hung up his suit. He's no longer being Deadpool. Now he's Wade Wilson, car salesman. He's living a normal life. It seems like him and his missus, Vanessa, they're friends. Something since the last film moved on. So it's what it is.
Yeah.
He's now a car salesman with Peter and living his life. TVA come along and say, you've messed shit up, come with us. And he goes with them. And then you get my man from
Succession.
From Succession, yeah. I like him. He's a good actor. He's really he's goofy, but in a funny kind of way. And yeah, he's good. So he's sort of like the boss of that department of the TVA. Tells him that what was it?
Paradox.
Paradox. That's his name. And then he tells him that an anchor. What was it? An anchor being.
Yeah. So Wolverine from Logan, he died, and then that causes an event where that universe is going to die now. So Earth 616 is going to basically end.
Exactly, which shows the sort of timeline kind of depleting kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he needs his help to then sort that out. So it's a big thing that he needs to sort out, but I don't know, it's a massive thing. Not get me, it's a massive. It's world ending, but it's not. It doesn't seem that important. I don't know. It's weird. It's massive, but with Deadpool, it's just like, okay, whatever kind of thing. Let's get on with it. And it's a bit of a joke. So that's the kind of setup of what's happening and where things are at. And it's just in my mind, as the film's going on, I barely think about that because there's just so much madness and craziness and fights and things happening that you don't really think about, okay, the world's going to end if they don't succeed. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's the kind of setup anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. And then, like, the beginning of the movies, like we've come to expect in these Deadpool movies, there's like a fight scene, like, and with Deadpool, the way that he kills people in the weirdest and bloodiest and most violent way possible.
Over the top.
Like, over the top. Like, there's music, there's exactly. He's dancing in between him, like, killing people and all that sort of stuff. So, the usual Deadpool stuff. Yeah, exactly. NSYNC, and he's like, he's doing all this nonsense, right? And then, so he's been tasked to find. So he's like, listen, we've got to save, the universe, and there's only one way to do that is to find another Wolverine. But obviously, Wolverine's dead because we watched Logan and everything. So he travels through to different timelines, and he picks up different. He goes to try and find the most decent, a good Wolverine. And here's the thing, man.
TVA remote from the.
He steals the TVA remote, and then we got to speak about the cameos, man. This is mad. So he goes to one universe, and there's a midget Wolverine. And the reason why that is. Do you know the reason why it's a midget one?
We spoke about this time ago.
Yeah,
we said from time ago because Wolverine in the comics is 5'3".
He's short.
Exactly. Yeah. So but it just wouldn't work on screen. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So they go back, and he finds a Wolverine who's a midget. Then he finds another one. And he finds all these different Wolverine, but there's one Wolverine who's working on a bike. He walks into him. Man, where do they get this from? And it's flipping Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, yeah.
That's mad. That is mad. And then you know what?
Not even just that. It's what he says to him as well. He says, "Oh, the Cavalrine or something." And he says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll treat you better than the guys across the street treated you." Oh, come on.
Referring to DC.
That's not a diss. That is a wicked diss, right? So they roped in Henry Cavill to do that scene, but then eventually they find a Wolverine, and this Wolverine, he's edgy. He's obviously he's mean. He's a grizzly bastard. Basically, he's drinking, he's getting pissed and everything, and he's got issues. So something happened in that universe where he wasn't a hero.
Yeah. He was drunk, wasn't he? He was drunk on the job.
He's drunk on the job. All the X-Men die, so he's basically not the hero. Yeah, exactly. So he's the next best thing. So they get sucked into, so this Wolverine gets sucked into Deadpool's kind of, end of the world scenario thing. But in doing so, they get, they end up in the void. Now, this is where we have to mention there's loads of kind of Easter eggs, there's cameos, there's shit going on, right? So be honest now. When you saw the guy in the hood and they didn't reveal, who did you think it was?
I thought it was Cap.
The Cap.
I thought it was Cap.
Exactly.
Because of the arm.
Before the arm.
Before the arm. Yeah. Before the arm, I didn't know who. Before the arm.
But when you saw the arm, we're all thinking, "Oh my gosh, they bought."
I recognize the voice. I did recognize the voice.
Yeah, but they what's that word? They subverted the expectations. So there we are thinking it's Captain America, but no, they bring in Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four movie way back when. I just thought it was brilliant casting, man. That is wicked.
And it makes sense with the whole Fox link in it, because they kind of it's like a homage to all what Fox has done over the years and stuff. So people forget he was Fantastic Four before he was Avengers, so it just it should be and
it was still in my mind, because when they were just before they were battling, Wolverine and Deadpool were having their battle. So it was still in the mind that there was still the Fox reference when Chris Evans appears on screen.
Yeah. I think the fact that they went to the Void. I think the Void it seems to be an important place, because we saw it.
Everyone's there, man.
Yeah, we saw it in Loki quite a lot, and he even mentioned
for all the
rubbish.
All the rubbish. Yeah.
So the TVA are really important. It's crazy.
The way they get pruned, they get shoved in. And it's not just Johnny Storm down there. Pyro from X-Men, he was down there. And then you had Juggernaut was down there. You got Sabretooth was down there. So I mean, and listen, we're skipping bits, we're skipping the kind of the big main fights, like Wolverine and Deadpool. They have a fight when they're down there as well. So there's lots of kind of funny stuff going on between those two. But eventually they have to work together because there's a way out for them as well. And then, man, we meet this next level mutant who's Charles Xavier's sister. Oh my gosh, man. like, the evil twin sister of Charles Xavier who can get inside your mind and play around with your mind. I love that whole thing that she was doing where she was actually using her fingers to get inside your brain.
That was mad. And her fingers were long. I was like, oh, look at her fingers.
Oh man. So there's a whole big sequence in the void. Yeah, mad powers. So this whole big sequence in the void, and she's kind of like the villain. And so they got to get out of the void, which they eventually do. But before they get out, there's more cameos, man. We've got to mention this. So Deval's already mentioned about Blade. Who do they bring back in? All these years later, they bring back Wesley Snipes to be Blade. And the jokes come thick and fast. They bring in Elektra. What was her name again? Who's the actress who plays Elektra?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
She's in good shape,
She's good shape, man.
She played that role in 2005, 2004. It was ages ago.
20 years ago.
They also did a joke there as well with Elektra, because she was married to Ben Affleck.
Yeah. What was the joke? I missed it.
Because the joke was, oh, where's Daredevil? And then
okay.
he got...
Okay.
He was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever."
No one's off limits. And then so they bring in Karma Electra, and you're like,
"Oh my gosh!" Slow motion, isn't it? Even when Blade is in slow motion, it's just like exactly in slow motion. It's mad.
And then you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, who have they got next?" So they bring in Electra, they're bringing in Blade, and then. We've already mentioned this before. That's Channing Tatum as Gambit. Oh my gosh! And crazy. Not only that, with the costume as well.
Full, no messing around. Proper costume and voice. Like his voice.
But you know what? Did you not think that the cowl was a bit off? Because
At first I thought it looked like an AI. Like it was
the hair. I was like, what's that thing there?
Yeah, it didn't look proper.
You know what? I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? It's his face. The shape of his face. Gambit has a longer face. Like
But I mean, and then there's jokes. Even in that, there's jokes because this whole thing behind the scenes. Channing Tatum was apparently trying really hard to get a Gambit movie made. He wanted to play Gambit. Whatever and stuff. And in Deadpool, he makes jokes about that. Yeah. So that is all brilliant. He made the Blade joke, which I thought was brilliant. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "You weren't there even on the original Blade, when they were together in Blade Trinity and everything."
For me, do you know what? For me, the whole film, there's one moment in the whole film that I think stole the show, and it wasn't even. It was this one word and a look.
Which one?
It was when they were all coming, sort of charging towards Cassandra Nova's base, when they all tried to attack it, and Blade's there with a rocket launcher, and Deadpool says, whose rocket launcher is that? He says, that's the Punisher's rocket launcher. They're like, who is it? Like 5 Punishers, and then Blade says, there'll never be one Blade. And then Deadpool just looks at the camera for a good 2 seconds, and it's like, that's powerful,
That was a message. He delivered the message.
That was, with all that's happened with Mahershala Ali not being Blade yet, it being pushed back or cancelled or whatever, and that to be on screen, there'll ever be one Blade. That's crazy.
And the fact that he's looking at the screen, because we all know, what's going on as well. So at the moment,
when was that bit shot? Was that shot earlier or later? Because they had to stop shooting because of the strikes, and then they came back. So it gave them time.
I don't think it matters what time it was shot.
Things were delayed at certain times, like the directors. So I think it matters even more, because if that was done quite late, that means they might know that Blade isn't really going to happen. Because they know something that has decided.
No, I don't think it mattered, because he said it doesn't matter because there's several Punishers, but there's only one Blade. The fact that he actually knows that another Blade is being made. That's it.
No, he said it's only ever going to be one Blade.
He says there's only ever going to be one.
He doesn't see another Blade coming out.
If I hear that there's another Blade coming out, then I'm filming on set, I'm already going to deliver that there will only ever be one Blade that's going to come out. So I don't like that's my hope. but
There's
what
just
actually happens.
And there's just so many little bits and pieces where, man, I was cracking up, I was laughing. The action scenes are outlandish and people getting killed like left, right, and center and everything. So he's like, and what I liked about that whole Blade and Elektra and yeah, exactly. And they were like, oh, and also X-23. We forgot she's in it as well.
Yeah. Very grown up as well compared to when she showed up. What was it? 6 years ago. No, 2017.
2017.
7 years ago. I don't know how old she's in real life now. I'll check, but she's definitely grown up.
She was in the recent Star Wars thing, Acolyte.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, this is much better than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. So there's kind of like all this stuff going on, and then they get a good send off. Blade gets a send off. Like Elektra gets a send off. Gambit gets a send off, and everything like that.
Juggernaut. Did you see Juggernaut?
Juggernaut as well. It was a new Juggernaut and everything. So there's a little bit kind of they needed Juggernaut's helmet and everything. So there's all of that going on, and then so they make it out of the void again. They get back to Earth so that they can save, obviously the universe. But then, so Charles Xavier's evil twin, she's following them. She's able to get into the kind of the real world, but she brings along with her all the Deadpools from the void. So there's a massive kind of fight scene with Wolverine and Deadpool versus all the other Deadpools, and it's just a craziness, man. Madness.
That was the Deadpool corp, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
So that was all of them. Oh, you know what was hilarious for me was Nice Deadpool when he was basically using him as a shield.
Oh yeah.
He's like, just say it louder, and then Deadpool, his head gets blown off. But then I thought, you know what? He is so cold. It's savage. The movie actually does because he says, "I've got the guns." Like, I was like, "You're out of order." Yeah.
There's a bit in the movie I loved the whole thing when Wolverine, he puts his mask on. So this is the first we actually see him put the mask on, and he does the classic thing with his arms spread out, and that's from the comic books, man. That was wicked. So I think a lot of people are going to appreciate the kind of the time they've taken for them to think, all right, let's give the fans what they want.
Exactly.
And he says that Wolverine, Deadpool actually says that. He goes, there's a bit in the movie where he's like, all you nerds, you better get your socks out because this is going to be where you basically bust a nut because this is where everyone's going to basically, explode. So there's all of that going on. So plot wise, it's like, look, it's thin. Right, it's a thin plot, but what makes it so special is the fact that we've got Wolverine in it. We've got these cameos, we've got these inside jokes, and the fact that he looks into the camera and he's telling us, it's all kind of pop culture references as well, and there's all this stuff going on, which make it such a fun movie.
But there's also those little messages as well, because he says when the Deadpool, the whole Deadpool's come out, I think he said something about Marvel, we're tired of the multiverse. Like,
exactly.
No,
it's been downhill since Endgame. They said everything that people say.
Exactly. So, it's so true, and he's saying what people are really, really thinking. So that's why the character is basically is second to none. Is brilliant. So people have been kind of saying, well, what happened to Zazie Beetz? What happened to, people were kind of, the relationship between those two, it wasn't then about them though, was it, in the end? It was less about them.
What do you mean? The relation between who? Between
Deadpool and the girl.
Oh, you mean Vanessa?
Yeah, Vanessa.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it was more, it was a buddy film, isn't it? Wolverine, Deadpool, that's what it was. You didn't really need to have the relationships and all that kind of stuff.
And that would have probably taken away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's who he's doing it for. That's his motivation. So I guess they were there in the back of his mind. He wasn't trying to save the world. He was trying to just save his 9 people. You know what I mean? He doesn't really care about the world.
Yeah.
He's a mercenary.
He's
a mercenary.
Exactly. There's a bit at the movie where Wolverine and Deadpool, they're sitting down on the bench. They saved the day, right? And then Deadpool looks over to Wolverine. He's like, what are you going to do? He goes, maybe we could do this again. And then there's a look that Wolverine gives him. He goes, nah. He goes, I don't think so. For some reason, I took that. I don't know if it's, I don't think Hugh Jackman's going to come back.
I would hope he doesn't.
Yeah, this is it now, man.
He did keep on teasing him and said, he did keep on teasing him and said, "You're going to be doing this until you're 90."
That's true. That is true. That they're not going to get rid of. But then after this, I mean, I think the guy's hitting. I mean, AJ Barry, obviously we can see. Did you see his body?
Hugh Jackman's 55, isn't he? He's looking.
The scene at the end, he's in good shape, man.
He's in good shape.
He probably could do one if they decided to make another one in the next 2 years. Okay, fine, fair enough. But if it starts taking 4 years, 5 years, whatever, I don't know. But there was a look that he kind of gave, which I thought, oh, you know what, this is like, it's nice for him to just bow out now. He's done it. You know,
that's the thing. I think before it gets shit, you want to go on a high. This is a high. Some people are saying that he might show up again in like Secret Wars and maybe have a little part there. If that's the case, but I think it's good to go on a high, man. You don't want to go when the party's shit, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think that the reason why he came to do this one is because it was Ryan Reynolds. And the fact that the last one, what is it? I think the last one was Logan. Logan was supposed to be the end all, wasn't it? Where he's old man Logan. And so that would have been a good finale because he's old. But then this one was a tongue-in-cheek, jokey one. So for that, it kind of like separates the Wolverines that he's done in the past and put this one into a different genre where it's comedy.
And also, And also, I reckon he did it because remember there's that whole inside joke thing with Deadpool 2. He goes back, he shoots, the whole himself for taking on X-Men Origins. And even whilst, remember these in-jokes that he's always had with Hugh Jackman? Yeah. Like in interviews and stuff from years ago, they've always had this kind of camaraderie and stuff like that. So I think they've built up to this. Now, if Ryan, if you can hear me, who's producer on the movie, by the way, I mean, listen, man, you've done it. I don't think, you need to go off and explore that whole thing again. You brought back X-23. So maybe that could be the kind of link there. There's a Wolverine-ish type of a character. We don't know.
Possibly.
Interestingly, what did you guys think of the ending, the end? There wasn't a link up.
What an end credit one.
There was, the end credit scene. There wasn't. They didn't allude to anything else.
No, the end credit was just basically going back to the scene where he ratted out Chris Evans. To Cassandra Nova. He was saying how Chris Evans was chatting shit about her.
Yeah.
So everyone that one was funny because it was just like, at the time, you're thinking, why the fuck is he saying all of that?
Yeah.
And then Wolverine is also, saying, why are you doing that? Like, why are you going to end his life? Shut up.
The way they killed him. Oh, in that, there was a brilliant joke in that. They were like, the way she killed him was brilliant. They just sucked his skin off, which was, I thought, was fantastic.
She's mad powerful. The amount of power she has, no one can touch her.
No. Like, but there's a brilliant thing there. There's a brilliant line where Deadpool goes, "Do you know what he was doing to the budget? We had to kill him off. You know what we were doing. You know what we were doing to the budget. Yeah. You know what? That killed me.
Yeah, they had good jokes because that's probably true.
Yeah,
if he's in it longer, he's going to cost a lot of money. You know what I mean?
So I thought that was all brilliant and everything. So
there's so many like little hints, like little. Eggs. I don't know if you noticed when they went to New York to do the Deadpool fight, Deadpool army fight. The shot behind them was called Liefeld's Just Feet.
Oh,
I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice it. No,
behind them there's a few shots, but when there was like when Wolverine put the cowl on and there's a shot behind. It's in the trailers. Liefeld's Just Feet, and Liefeld is a comic book illustrator, Rob Liefeld.
Oh,
and he was notoriously known for not being able to draw good feet. That's why the shop was just feet. I mean, even when they went into the shop, there was just feet in the shop. Those little winks, like little things like that certain people would know. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Yeah. It's mad. It's absolutely mad.
It was just, this movie was just a fan service, really.
That's the thing.
That's what it was.
It was 100%.
They had all those, that Wolverine montage was for the fans. Like,
yeah.
You know.
And there was some deep cuts, you know, like the one where he
one arm, and I think
exactly Age of Apocalypse.
There
was one where the skulls and he was crucified. I mean that's just that looked really deep. That image. You just imagine what kind of world when it's just skulls and everywhere. He's there. And you think about it, because he can live. I don't know. Can he die if he starves? I don't know, but Wolverine obviously is hard to kill. So imagine how long it would take for him to be like that.
To just on the cross,
yeah.
Oh man,
you think about it, and all those skulls there. That world looked deep. Deep.
Yeah, man. You know what? For me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it lived up to expectation. I thought I wasn't. I thought, shit, can they make it as good as what they're saying they're going to make it? Don't go into it expecting like an amazing kind of plot. Just go into it expecting like what Deval said, like buddy movie, those two teaming up, fighting each other, blood, guts, the whole thing. And the jokes, man. For me, the jokes just smashed it.
I think this is going to actually do really, really well because he's put so many of these nuggets in there. Like, I want to watch it because I know that there's a lot that I've also missed that I didn't pick up on the first one. So I reckon there's going to be people that will probably watch it 3 times at least.
Yeah, well, Deval's already seen it twice. Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, big, massive, like, Ninja Blade up for me, man. Like,
give it a good 8 out of 10, I reckon. I'll definitely see it maybe 1 or 2 more times, and when it comes out on Disney Plus, I'll probably see it again. So,
well, exactly. Where does it? So, I mean, a lot of people are asking, like, okay, so where do we go from now? Then, so we know Deadpool. This is the first because he's now officially. Well, he's in the MCU. He's going to be in the MCU. They're going to bring him back for something.
He is in the MCU, but I got a sneaky suspicion that he won't be a part of the MCU. I think he's too standalone. Because how can he be amongst, like, the Avengers? He can't swear. What kind of version of Deadpool are we going to get?
Good question, but remember, there's a cutaway scene between him and Thor. And
I remember that. Yeah.
So maybe that is.
Come
for the future, so that maybe there could be a scene where Thor is with. So I don't know, maybe it's a version of Deadpool where it's like a PG version of Deadpool.
I reckon it will just.
But then how?
If it was an Avengers movie, it'll be a cameo that he'll.
I reckon Secret Wars. We might see him pop up in Secret Wars. I reckon.
So in terms of kind of like the next one, they can't wait 6 years for another one, man.
Deadpool. No, it'd be sooner than that. But I reckon cameos until then. I reckon they'll pop up now and again. But I'm fine. I'm fine with not getting a Deadpool soon. I mean, Marvel needs to take their time with everything. Don't rush anything. So I'm more than happy to wait till February to get the next Cap. Brave New World. So that looks interesting. So I'm happy to wait.
I mean, just on that, and this is for our listeners as well. Just to recap, we've got Captain America: Brave New World, February 2025. Thunderbolts, May 2025. Fantastic Four, July 2025. Blade. Well, I mean, they've said. Let's not talk about Blade, but we're saying 2026 Avengers, the next Avengers movie, and then after that. I mean, I don't know about after that.
Who knows?
They've given us 1 for this year and then 3 for next year.
2025 is going to be a big year.
Yeah.
For Marvel again.
Yeah, if they've taken the time and produced it well, it might be good. But again, my expectations are low, and that way I can't be disappointed. Simple as that.
Yep.
You know what? Another. I was speaking to someone else, and I said. It was refreshing this team up with Deadpool and Wolverine because it was one movie where one Marvel movie where I wasn't walking into it and coming out of it thinking it's shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. That fight scene in the car, man. The Honda.
Crazy.
Crazy. So listen, look, man, it's a thumbs up all around from all of us. Go check it out. If you do see the movie, let us know on Instagram. Drop us a message. Let us know, and we'd love to kind of hear what you think about it, and we can share it on next week's episode. So that is it. That's all we've got time for on this week's episode. We've gone on to an hour, man. It took an hour because it's one of those movies. It's got to, man. All right. Okay. Thanks for doing this, guys.